Interesting, random, tall guy films.
Sliders are very useful tools. They can help bring interest and movement to an otherwise boring static shot. They can also help show an object's dimensions and form. This makes sliders almost essential among product reviewers. Unfortunately, sliders are also very expensive and notoriously difficult to get good shots from. The Varavon Slidecam Lite claims to offer smooth sliding motion at a relatively affordable price. Can it deliver, and are there other issues to consider? Let's find out. To begin with, when you get the slider, the box contains the slider itself in a custom padded shoulder bag. Along with the slider, you'll find a bag containing 2 detachable legs within the carrying case. Also included is an instruction manual and a set of wrenches to adjust the slider. Before we talk about functionality, let's run down design. The slider is made out of anodized aluminum, with the rails being chrome-plated for additional corrosion resistance. The slide cam is primarily black, with some red accents on the carriage and legs. Continuing with the carriage, on top you'll find a 3/8/16 screw, as opposed to a traditional 1/4-20, to attach to a head. I've been using my slider with a small Oben ball head. Also on top of the head is a bubble level to help keep the slider mounted well level. On the front side of the carriage you'll find a screw to lock the slider in place. The screw works surprisingly well, only a 1/4 turn for full movement and a 1/4 turn back to securely lock the carriage in place. At each end of the slider is a 1/4-20 mounting point for any accessories like a light or a microphone. You can also purchase a motor kit from Varavon to turn the slider into a motorized slider. The bottom of the slider has 3 points for attaching to a tripod, one in the center and one on each end. Each of the attachment points has a hole for a 1/4-20 and a 3/8/16 screw. Each end of the slider also has an attachment point for the legs. Speaking of the legs, each has a special design to fit securely when attached to the slider. Other than the adjustable legs with rubber feet, there isn't much else to say about them. Now let's talk functionality. The slider is very smooth through the entire range of the carriage. There really isn't anything to complain about it when it comes to how smooth the motion of the slider is. In terms of mounting the slider, I did have some issues when mounting the slider on a tripod head. The shoe on the tripod head was not secure enough to prevent the slider from flexing. However, that wasn't entirely an issue with the tripod head and not the slider. I had no problems when mounting the slider directly to my tripod. Of course, as anyone who regularly watches my reviews knows, I can't finish a video without listing off at least a couple complaints. Fortunately, my complaints about the Varavon are relatively minor. First, the slide cam is loud. The slider is expensive enough to have ball bearings, but not expensive enough to have quiet ones. The noise shouldn't be a problem for capturing B-roll, but you may want to consider alternatives if you plan on capturing any sound while the slider is in use. The second issue is that the paint on the slide cam scratches very easily. If you are careful with the slider and keep it by itself in a protective case while transporting it, it should be fine. Just know that if you abuse this slider, it will show. The biggest complaint I have about the slide cam is that it lacks any way to adjust the tension without disassembling the carriage, making it difficult to get smooth slides at slower speeds. Fortunately, with a little practice, this inconvenience can be overcome. In conclusion, this is a very good slider for the price. It's obviously not without flaws, but as long as you recognize and understand those limitations, the Slidecam Lite is a great addition to any filmmaker's kit. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If not, feel free to hit the dislike button. If you have any questions about the slider or anything else, feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button.